Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Oh my god, it is really 2 days before the Big Brother Titans season 1 show is over, and I cannot just get that amazing fact out of my head. And I wish all the housemates the best, because in about an hour 30 minutes, that is in 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours, the voting lines will be closed and no more voting. So if you can, please go all out and vote for your favorite, because you'll be shocked who might end up winning this competition. Oh well, today would be the last Friday night game show, and of course the opportunity for 1 or 2 housemates to win $1,000, the last $1,000 available in the Big Brother Titans season 1. And of course, these housemates are playing a series of games, and I must tell you, it is crazy. Now, according to the rules of the game, first off, they will need to toss some balls to some cones to get out of their red stars. The moment you kick off about 3 cones, you move to the next stage, which is to use one of this baby thing that you blow, and it's just making purr sounds, used in festivities, to play a game of shooting a ball from one end to the finish line. So if you are able to push 2 balls, tiny balls of course, from the beginning to the ending line of that particular table, you move to the next stage, which is throwing some rings to a static cone. The moment you get 1 ring into the cone, you then rush to the last game, which is to carry one of those poppers, one of those poppers that people use to congratulate people, that people use in weddings just to push confetti out and stuff. When you pop that, you run to the finish stop and stand there. Now the housemates with the fastest time gets to win the competition, and I think the last 2 with the fastest time will win it. Now, as usual, for games that are this complicated, the housemates needed to ask questions after questions. I mean, ipeleng, Tsatsi, khosi, literally almost all of them had to ask questions to understand it. And then Big Brother did an eeny, meeny, miny, mo to pick the first first housemates to play the game, which then fell on ipeleng. And the first thing that popped out of my lips was, Big Brother doesn't like ipeleng, because even me, I didn't understand exactly what he was saying. But then ipeleng started, and it took her time to get used to all the things she needed to do, but it seems like she understood it better than the other housemates, probably why Big Brother actually gave her the opportunity to start first. And of course, she started with the tossing on the cones just to move them from their static point, and then she moved to the ball that she needed to blow that baby trumpet to push them through. It took her time to get that done. Then she moved to the rings, where she needed to toss the rings on the static cone, which actually took her a long time. A long time. I mean, it took a round of over 3 times of tossing 6 rings. That was 18 tosses plus more before she could get it done. And then of course she moved slowly to the confetti, popped it off, and went to the finish line. Her time was around 4 minutes plus. Now of course that was quite long. Next was Kanaga Jnr, whom of course started the game with a fast pace. He began by tossing the balls to shift the cones from the static positions. He was successful in not a long time. He moved on to the other one that he needed to use the trumpet to push 2 balls to the finish line. He completed that. Soon enough, he ran fastly while shouting and took the rings and started tossing on the static cone. Now it took him a little while, but not too long, and then he got to achieve that. He ran to the confetti popper and popped it off and ran to the finish line. His time was literally under 2 minutes. Now I think his time was 1 minute and 13 seconds, but then he didn't complete the first game according to the rules that was demanded of him. So Big Brother had to add time to him, and I think they did the same thing to ipeleng. They added 30 seconds, and then of course his time became 1 minute and 43 seconds, but that is the fastest time so far in 2 people. Next was khosi, the big girl. Girl removed her jacket and went on and started the game. She started with, of course, the cones. She used the balls. I think her first throw, she tossed 2 cones at the same time, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And then, of course, she went through to the next one, which she had to blow the little trumpety thing and push 2 balls to the finish line. She finished that and went to the rings where she needed to toss the rings around the static cone. And I must be honest, her time seemingly was the longest in that particular stage. She kept tossing and tossing and tossing and tossing and tossing. I literally had to remove my face from there. I was pressing my phone because I was like, I don't know what else is happening here right now. She finished that. Luckily, she went on to take the poppers, and then had to pop it and went to the finish line. By the time she was done, I think her time was around 2 minutes plus, if I'm not mistaken, almost 3 minutes. Now, of course, this still makes Kanaga Jnr. the fastest time. And then we had to move to the next housemate, which was ebubu. Now, the thing is, aside when they were being paired, ebubu has never really won any competition in any of the games individually. Now, which is understandable due to, the eyesight shakiness and stuff, which we respect, of course. He started the game, spent some time around the first game, which was tossing the cones from their static positions. He moved on to the table one that he had needed to blow the trumpety thing with and shoot the balls across finish line. It took him a little time. The part that took him even longest was the rings around the cone. He kept on trying and trying and trying. Oh, he kept on trying, but it didn't seem like he was gonna win. But I prayed, yes I prayed, oh I prayed that he would win. But then his time was too long at that. He went to the poppers, got the poppers, finished, and when he stood on his finish line, I just saw 5 minutes plus. I was like, oh my god. Literally even longer than ipeleng, who didn't understand the game so much. But of course, we needed to move to the next. Next was Tsatsi. Next housemate was Tsatsi, who started the game like every other person, tossed the ball to the static cones, shift them from their position. She took a while there, not so much. She went on to the next game, which was, of course, using the trumpety thing to push 2 balls to the finish line on the table. And then she moved to the rings. I think everybody, even me, I would have a little time spent around those rings because it is not easy to be tossing those rings to that cone. By the time she was done, she moved on to the poppers, to the confetti poppers, popped it and came to her own finish line. Now, by the time she was done, I think her time was around 2 minutes and 59 seconds. I think there were just a little interval of difference between her and khosi. Finally, it was Yvonne who started her own too, starting from the first game, which she spent a little bit longer time than, khosi and Tsatsi. She tossed the cones from the static positions, went to the next one. I was literally laughing because it was funny to hear all the sounds and the way they were just pull, and pushing the balls. By the time she was done, she went to the rings and cone, get to spend a little time there. And, she successfully achieved that and went to the poppers, popped it, and came to the finish line. By the time she was done, I think her time was around 3 minutes plus. Now, that should be the... I don't know. Anyways, that was the end of the game, and then Big Brother announced the winner. And it was as though it was a reward for losing the last one to Juicy J via a little small mistake. Big Brother announced Kanaga Jnr. the winner of the final challenge on the Big Brother Titan show, and he started calling today a Kanaga Day. I'm like, oh well, I like it. So he wins an extra $1,000. I think that makes it $3,000 or $4,000 in total that he has won in the competition. Now, what's remaining is for you guys to go and vote for your favorite. If you do not vote, your favorite would not win.